This week, I graduated from a 6-month leadership journey, hit the halfway point of my 90-day transformation, and had a moment where I wanted to skip the gym entirely and just stuff my face with pizza, but I didn't. And it made me realize something really important about commitment, identity, and how we reinvent ourselves. So let's talk about what this past week actually taught me. Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly transformation recap where I reflect on what the past 7 days has taught me in my heart, my health, and my hustle. Today is March 21st as I'm filming this, and this past week feels like a milestone week for me because I officially graduated from my leadership program that I started way back in October. What's interesting is most people complete that program in 4 months, and it took me 6 months. Now, some people take longer, some people never finish. And so at first I thought that meant I was behind, but now I realize I was right on time because this experience taught me something really powerful. We are constantly reinventing ourselves, and most importantly, we get to choose to. This week really anchored the idea for me that identity is a choice. The version of me that started this program back in October is not the same version of me sitting here today. And one of the biggest shifts has been around responsibility and commitment. I've learned that I'm a generator of my results. And the more I keep my word to myself, the more confidence I build and the more trust I create for myself. Another realization I had this week, especially as an entrepreneur, is the difference between consuming and producing. We live in a world where it's easy to constantly consume podcasts, content, information, even food. And that's important, just like we fuel our bodies when we're in a calorie deficit. But at some point, you have to make a shift. Legacy builders don't just consume, they produce. They contribute. And I really believe the difference is this, that consumers operate from the belief that they still need more before they can give. Producers operate from the belief that their cup is already full enough to pour into others, and they still take time to recharge. But they don't stay stuck in intake mode. And I feel myself stepping into that version of me right now. So now let's talk about health. I'm officially at the halfway point of my 90-day fitness transformation challenge. My goal is visible abs, ideally a six-pack. In my entire life, I've never had visible abs. So no matter how athletic or lean I've been, this is a fun challenge for me, right? Right now, I'm down 7 pounds. I've actually started to lean out. Not started, I already have leaned out, but I feel I'm on track for visible abs by May 10th. So I'm really excited about that. But this week has also been my first full week on my updated macros. I actually dropped 200 calories from the former week. So currently right now I'm at 1450 with a higher protein. I'm going to go back up in a little bit here. Now, obviously these are my macros. Don't copy my macros because you probably have a different body, different goals. Okay. But these are customized for my goals and my body. But most days, honestly, it hasn't been that hard. But yesterday and today, different story. Let's talk about yesterday. It was Friday night. I did not want to go to the gym, like at all. I had just wrapped up 2 full days of my leadership program on Zoom. And so I was completely spent, but I went anyway. And that moment was a reminder that this journey is less about motivation and more about commitment. And something else I've realized this week ties into that. So I started asking myself this question. Am I committed to my goals or my preferences? Because for years, I thought I was committed to my fitness goals, but in reality, I was committed to my preferences, what I felt like eating, right? How certain meals had to look, right? Burgers and pizza have to look a specific way. Burgers with the bun, pizza with traditional crust, or whatever the case might be. But this time around, I've been flexible. I've completely shifted that. And so I'm less committed to what I feel like doing and more committed to the result that I want. And in doing that, I've actually enjoyed the process more, right? Minus the protein cookies I made last weekend. If you caught that on my Instagram, those were terrible. Literally tasted like cardboard. with chocolate chips. Never gonna make that recipe again, right? Those poor chocolate chips that I wasted, but hey, not really a waste because I got to learn in the process, right? The importance of having some fat content, for example. And so some things are a success, right? Some things are more of a lesson. Both are progress. On the business side, let's talk about hustle. This week was really energizing, right? I visited 4 networking chapters, including my own, and my husband subbed in for me at another one while I was at my seminar. And one thing that really stood out to me is this: building a business is fun with the right people and exhausting with the wrong people. So choose wisely. Over the past few weeks, I've been doing this networking blitz as I'm building my business, and I've met so many incredible entrepreneurs just by getting out into my local community the old school way. What is funny is people are starting to recognize me and even know who I am, know of me, which is super encouraging. And it's reinforced something that I've been learning, which is environment matters. Your energy matters. Who you surround yourself with matters, because even on the days when motivation isn't there, the environment can carry you. So I'm also stepping into something new in my business. I'm going to be starting pop-ups and collaborations with local health and wellness businesses, whether that's a gym, Pilates studio, fitness space, etc. So this is completely new territory for me because I've only ever built service-based businesses, but not product-based. So I'm excited and I'm stretching. And so to support myself in this new stretch, I've also hired a coach this week to guide me in this new way of building, which has been a stretch, but intentional. So I'm especially excited because she's a woman, which is new for me since most of my mentors have been male. And so I love getting to work with other powerful women. Okay, now let's talk about some real talk, okay? Shiny object syndrome. For me, it's both a blessing and a curse. It can spark creativity or it can completely derail you. And if you've ever built a business before, you know that opportunities come at you constantly, left, right, up, down. This week alone, I got pitched multiple times. In fact, today I got pitched twice. And instead of reacting quickly like in the past I would have, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity to observe myself in receiving this pitch and see, how do I feel? What's working and what's not? And so I've learned that not every opportunity is going to be alignment. And something more powerful than speed is discernment. Sometimes alignment requires slowing down, right? The opportunity to practice discernment, where we get to pray on it, possibly sleep on it, giving ourselves the space to check in with our intuition, right? Obviously, don't take years, but at least perhaps take a day, because that inner voice, that's your internal barometer, and ignoring it usually comes at a cost, one that I am no longer willing to pay. That's why I decided to launch this channel. And so if I were to sum up this week in one message, it would be this: we are constantly being shaped by our environment, our circumstances, and the opportunities around us. But at the end of the day, success is a dance between external influence and internal intuition and integrity, keeping your word to yourself. So you don't control everything around you, but you do control how you respond. You do control your commitment. You do control whether you keep showing up. And that's what I'm focused on in this season. So thanks for joining this week's transformation recap, where every week we reflect, reset, and realign with heart, health, and hustle. And so I'll see you soon for one of my Wellness Wisdom Wednesdays, and of course, on my daily walk and wisdoms. And if you're on your own transformation journey, you're in the right place, because this is where transformation becomes a lifestyle.